Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here. So coming to you today, and I wanted to talk about something that Jim over at Backfire posted a video on here recently, and that is, does cleaning your barrel improve the overall precision or shrink the group size when switching from one bullet construction to another? So pretty much he made a video about the fact that he was listening to a Ron Spomer podcast recently, and Ron had mentioned that he had seen accuracy degradation or his group size get larger when he was shooting monolithic bullets, solid copper bullets, and then switching to more of a traditional style bullet construction like a cup and core, core lock, interlock, something along those lines, or even just a standard match bullet, and then switching back to the monolithic or solid copper style projectile. When you switch back to the copper the second time, that's when he saw accuracy degradation, group sizes opening up, and it kind of led him down the path, talking about Ron, of hey, you really need to clean your barrel back down to pretty much bare metal if you're going to be switching between bullet construction types, right? If you're going to be testing different bullets, that type of thing. If you're going to be switching from one bullet construction type to another, you really need to strip your barrel back down to bare metal and then start from there. Well, Jim, that was the first time, to my knowledge, first time he had ever heard that, and he was able to apply that bit of information to his own experience, because he had recently picked up a Sako Model 90 and 300 Winchester Magnum, and he initially tested it with the Sako solid copper factory ammunition, and it was shooting like half-inch 5-shot groups at 100 yards. Then he switched over to their match style ammunition, again, more of a traditional style bullet construction. The groups weren't that great, and so he switched back to the solid copper. Well, that was when things fell apart, right? And the groups went to crap. They got extremely large, and he was going, what is going on? He was thinking he had a scope problem, something wrong with the gun. Well, he had heard Ron mention that, and so he wanted to test it. He went back, scrubbed his barrel down to bare metal, shot the solid copper stuff again, and everything tightened right back up to like half-inch groups or whatever it was, maybe even better than that. I can't remember. Go watch the video though. But that was where, when I saw that video, a light bulb sort of went off in my own mind, where I can think about all of the times that I've tested solid copper monolithic bullets along with more traditional cup and core style constructed bullets. And so I just started thinking about, man, have I given up on a combination too soon, or written off a bullet powder combination simply because I didn't clean my barrel back down to bare metal and start over? That was the first time I'd ever heard that too. So shout out to Jim for bringing that up. Now, I say all that to say this. That was the test that I went and performed today, albeit very small sample size and data set. So for all of you who are on the bandwagon of, hey, let's go shoot 5,000 rounds before we have a statistically significant sample size, feel free to leave a comment below. I appreciate it. Every comment helps out. Trust me, even the negative ones. I thumbs up and I like just about every single comment that gets posted on my videos, for the simple fact that you're helping me out. So type away, keyboard warriors. But on this 25-06 project, all right, we've kind of been beating our head against the wall just a little bit on trying to get this thing to shoot. It's a Ruger M77 Hawkeye. Doesn't have a free-floated barrel. That's by design. So I know that they can be finicky to try to get them to shoot. At least that's been my experience in the past, and also what I've read online. So take that for what it is. You might have one that's always shot quarter-inch groups right out of the box, and you can hit a squirrel at 2,000 yards. That's awesome. That's great. You're a winner. So I picked up this rifle though, wanted to work up a hunting load for a buddy of mine, and he dropped off some factory ammunition to go with it. It's the Hornady Superformance 117 grain SST. That's the factory ammo that he gave me to shoot with it, and he said, hey, this is what we hunt with. Well, that stuff shot like garbage, okay? Just for example, these are 2 different 5-shot groups out of one box of the factory ammo. You can see pretty terrible. Even worse is there's some weird velocity stuff going on with that particular lot of factory ammo. I shot 4 5-shot groups. One 5-shot group I shot on steel and it looked just like this. And then of course shot these 2, and then the 4th group was this one. I know I've written all the group sizes sideways, whatever, but it's 1.787. So this was the tightest 5-shot group out of that box of factory ammunition. So basically 1 3/4 inch groups. That was the best performance that we got out of that particular box. So something's going on there. This rifle does not like this combination. I have another 1.5 boxes of this same stuff, although they are two different lot numbers. So I would like to try that at some point in time, just to see if maybe there was something going on with that particular lot of ammunition. But kind of walked away from that and thinking that was the bullet that I wanted to actually load up and test with as well. Switched over to a solid copper version, or a solid copper bullet, which was the Hornady GMX and the Meguiar Ballistics Copper Rose bullet that they make. Now this target is focused on the 95 grain Meguiar Ballistics. I loaded up some test loads, you know, down in half grain jumps, but this is 55.5 grains, 55, 54.5, 54. And I was kind of limited on, you know, first of all, limited on the quantity of bullets that I had on hand because I only had 1 box. Shout out to Sam Meguiar for hooking me up with the box that he sent. So I had 50 to work with, and I really wanted to hang on to at least 5 to 10 of those to turn over to my buddy as an option for hunting, right? That was my goal, was to at least walk away with some that he could use this upcoming season. And then also find another bullet that shot well, another bullet powder combination that shot well, similar point of impact that I could turn over to him and say, hey, here you go. Here's another, you know, 15, 20 rounds to hunt with. You're good to go for a little while. That was my plan. Now, I shot these groups after shooting the factory ammunition, and I didn't clean the gun, okay? So now you kind of see where I'm going, right? We're circling in and bringing it back home to this whole, you know, clean your rifle and see what happens type situation. So you can see 1.739, 1.301, 1.712, 1.600. So you can see the accuracy with the Meguiar Ballistics just was not that great in terms of the precision. The size of our group just was not that great. And this is using H4831. That was the powder that I chose to go with. Velocities were pretty good, but just overall group size performance, not great. But I went ahead and loaded up the last 20 that I had. Actually, I had 21. Yeah, I had 21. No, I had 26 left. I had 26 bullets left by the time I was done with the initial shooting, because I actually had 51 in the box. And so I loaded up 26 rounds of this 55.5 grain load here. And that was what I was going to turn over. I was going to use a couple of those just to kind of do a final zero on the gun, make sure everything's good to go with whatever other bullet powder combination I found that shot well to a similar point of impact. I was going to zero everything all at once. Then that way I could turn over about 20 rounds of the Meguiar Ballistics, so he'd have those to hunt with. And Jim made the video. I was like, aha, let me go try this, because I've already got some rounds loaded up. I've already seen sort of the performance in general, right, with this bullet powder. See if this makes a difference. And let me tell you what, guys, the difference that it made. It was, I couldn't believe it as I'm sitting there shooting the target, right? And I'm shooting these groups, shot 2 5-shot groups. Well, that's a lie. I shot a 6-shot group and a 5-shot group. I was blown away by the lack of improvement that we saw. So this one, this was the first group that I shot. Now, keep in mind, I scrubbed the barrel back down to bare metal, and I shot one of the Hornady GMX rounds that I had loaded up. I just shot one of those as a fowler, and I shot one of the Meguiar Ballistics. I shot one of these guys. That was going to be a fouling shot as well, and then I was going to shoot 2 5-shot groups. So I was like, well, you know what? I'll just shoot 6 in this one and 5 in the other one, and it is what it is, right? So I was pretty pumped after shooting this. Remember, 6-shot group, right? I can't remember if that was the first one or if the fouling shot, what I called fouling shot. But yeah, I was pretty pleased with that. As I was shooting it, I was like, oh man, there might be something to this. And then I followed it up with a 1.787. So I don't think that's what we're seeing in this particular rifle bullet powder combination. I just don't think the whole, hey, clean it down to bare metal, although I will do that moving forward. That'll be my standard practice moving forward. I don't necessarily think that's what was contributing to the just overall not stellar performance that we had in general. Probably just, bullet powder barrel combination. It just didn't really like it, right? And I only have 51 of these, so pretty limited on the amount that I could actually test with and see if anything, test other powders and all that stuff. So it just is what it is. Little unfortunate there. I was really hoping after that first, those first 6 shots, I was like, man, maybe there's something to it. Maybe it'll tighten up. That would have been nice. But we didn't see that. So not saying that you won't see it. It's just I didn't see it in that particular situation. Now I am going to perform this same test with 270 Winchester and 30 TC. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I've already scrubbed those barrels back down to bare metal, and then I'll go back and shoot strictly solid copper stuff out of them and see what the performance looks like. See if we see any improvement over previously shot groups, bullet powder combinations, all that fun stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me, have you guys seen that before? Have you heard of that? Of course, somebody's already commented on one of my videos, hey, you might want to scrub your barrel down to bare metal because you know what they say, where the copper, blah, 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 almost word for word what Jim was saying in his video. And I'm like, okay, so it's starting to get out to the masses now. So now everyone's going to throw that out as a recommendation. So I was like, I might as well, go try this myself, see if we have any improvement, which I didn't. Of course, small sample size. But yeah, that's where we're going to leave it. I've only got 15 of these left loaded now. I'd really like to hand over maybe, at least minimum 5. So what do you think I should do with the other 10? Because I'm jumping 85 thousandths, right? That's my jump to the lands. I'm loaded at 3.2, lands at 3.285. What do you guys think? Because that's the only overall length that I've tested. Should I stretch these out to 3.25 or 3.26 and maybe 3.23, right? Do one at one length, one at the other, and then leave the original length and just set these 5 aside and go shoot these at different overall lengths. And if you see some kind of drastic improvement, say it shoots 5 shots like that, right? Do I just load to that overall length? The last 5, just take them and load them to that length and be done? I don't know. You guys tell me. But gonna move on. Bullet wise, I've got some Barnes 100 grain tip TSX that I'm gonna be testing with Midwest Powders MP 620, which is somewhat of a clone of Reloader 19. So I'll be testing with those. Again, I've only got 50, so I don't have a ton to test with, but what I do have more to test with would be the 90 grain Hornady GMX. I've got more of those on hand. I think I had what was it? I think I started off with 100 of those. So I've got more of those on hand that I can test. So if I want to go more of a solid copper option, it'll have to be the GMX. I've got more available to me to test with. And then I also have the 117 grain round nose. I've got 100 of those as well So I can load some of those up if I want to go more of the traditional style cup and core. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's where we're going to leave it. A little disappointed in this. I was really hoping that I would have similar results to Jim over at Backfire, and then stuff would just tighten up, you know, ½ inch and be like, oh yeah, look, just go clean your gun. Life is good. That didn't happen for me. So that's it. That's where we're going to leave it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, y'all go check out Mr. Big Guns over in Huntsville, Alabama if you're ever coming through. It's my #1 recommendation for places to shop. Vans Sporting Goods in Coleman, that's VANS. That's another great place to stop in and shop. Midway Pistol and Ammo out in Gurley, Alabama. Duck Creek Sporting Goods out in Colorado. The list goes on, right? Those are some of the places that I really enjoy shopping and checking out what they've got in stock. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll catch you next time. Y'all have a good one.